Hello, I'm Camille Kirksey, the founder of World Homeschoolers Day, the only holiday that celebrates homeschoolers worldwide. This year, the holiday offers free events and giveaways brought to you by our generous sponsors, one of whom you're going to meet right now. I'd like to welcome Bar and Shannon from their Creativity Project, who's here to share with us today. Bar and Shannon, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So, can you both introduce yourselves and let us know what you do over at the Creativity Project?
Sure. I'm Bar Rucci. I am co-founder with Shannon of the Creativity Project. I'm also the founder of a blog that I have been writing for 11 years called Art Bar Blog. And I am the author of 2 books and a mom to 3 young adults.
And I'm Shannon Merenstein, co-founder of the Creativity Project, founder of Hatch Partners in Play here in Pittsburgh, working with public school educators to prioritize play and creativity, author of the Collage Workshop for Children with the Eric Carle Museum, and I am also a mom.
Awesome. Thank you guys for being here once again. So, in a nutshell, can you tell us about the Creativity Project, including the products and services that you offer?
Yeah, so we write and design art and play curriculum for classrooms and homeschools and all sorts of settings. And our curriculum guides come out monthly, and homeschoolers or classroom educators can become a member or purchase our curriculum guides sort of a la carte. And our mission is really to inspire and empower homeschoolers and educators to provide an environment for children that really allows them to explore and create and play and honor their choices and agency and grow to be creative, confident, best selves.
I love that so much. I love it so much. That's so much of what we need everywhere for all people, not just
Definitely,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah. So I know you really do one kind of thing, but is there a favorite part of your business that you just love to do, or maybe a favorite addition that you've done with your monthly guides, or what's some of your one of your favorite things that you've done over there?
Well, our monthly guides are really like our labor of love. Like that it's like putting out a monthly publication. And so we put our heart and soul into our guides, our curriculum, and they're like a digital magazine that you can get each month, and they're based on a big idea. And what we love to do every month is kind of brainstorm our big ideas. And we have a guide on curiosity and joy. Those are 2 different guides, and finding your voice is another theme. And it's all tied together with the offerings inside the guides. And there are 25 pages of ideas and enrichment, and they're beautifully designed and written by educators. And inside, we have mindfulness routines that help nurture connection and physical and emotional development. And we have book lists with an emphasis on diversity, inclusion, earth stewardship, and kindness. We have curricular connections, guidance on extending the invitations for older kids or younger kids, artist spotlights. There's so much in there. And it's really, like I said, our labor of love and everything you need to prioritize creativity at home or in the classroom. And so that's really where our passion lies, is in these guides. And we've created over 36 of them. So we're really proud of that.
Yeah, and I've seen them obviously, and they're beautiful. And,
Yeah,
with
thank you.
homeschooling, aesthetic is very important, but I am one that I don't want just it to be pretty. I want it to be useful. And I know for a fact that what you offer is very useful and very like doable. It's not like you have to be this super crafty person to do it. It's just whatever you have around the house and let the kids take the lead. So,
Exactly.
yeah, that's wonderful. What do you love most about serving the homeschooling community?
I think you just really hit the nail on the head. I think that when we give children the opportunity to work with materials, really simple everyday materials in open-ended ways, and we kind of step back and allow them to really be the drivers of their learning experiences, really magical things can happen. And I think that homeschool is the perfect setting for that kind of work to happen. I think oftentimes homeschoolers are working with children multiple ages or differing abilities, and you need to kind of be flexible and nimble in serving the children and working with them in those ways. And so the invitations that we offer and the longer term projects, all of those are really adaptable to multiple ages with homeschooling families, multiple abilities, and just really allow families to customize the experiences to meet the interests and strengths and needs of the children.
And as a homeschooler for a long time now, that is so important, that flexibility and adaptability. And then looking at the projects as an invitation. I love when you said that, because so many of us want to be super planned out and very regimented, but to be invited, to invite our kids, it's a better feeling. It's still the lesson in there, but that energy is different. And that's really what we're going for a lot of the time.
Yeah. And I think the idea of, moving around the space and kind of being able to return to the experience over and over again, that gives children and adults kind of fresh ideas about it or ways of extending it. There are opportunities for children to go grab something that they think would work really well in that experience. And I think developing that creative confidence and even just modeling flexibility for children is so important.
Absolutely. Yes. What advice would you give homeschoolers looking to do crafts and art projects and really start to have that different kind of mindset for open-ended play?
Yeah, I mean, it can be really simple, and we don't, our guides are all about process art. So we don't really call them crafts per se, because, we want it to be really open-ended without kind of like any sort of example of what something should look like. And it doesn't have to be complicated, and you don't have to be an artist to give your children a creative childhood. I think sometimes that can be a roadblock for teachers and parents. They feel like, I'm not creative, so I can't do this. But, that couldn't be further from the truth. You don't have to be creative. You can go for a walk outside and just collect natural materials and bring them home and use them in art. You can make a collage. You can use them with Play-Doh. You can study them. It's kind of all interconnected, the art and the play and the learning. You can collect recyclables. You can make a reuse shop. And there's so much learning in that, from collecting and figuring out how to arrange it and the signage. And, the children can use that as a self-serve station for other projects that they're working on, and they can pull from that and use it in their learning. And, I think what we really want is for people to make creativity central to every subject so that children develop those skills early on and keep using them through to adulthood. So they have that creative flexibility and those skills that they keep using throughout the year.
That's so key. And I like your distinction of open-ended. What did you call it? Not crafts.
Process art.
Process art.
Yeah.
And I love, because it is a process, and it just mirrors how like adult life is too. Everything is a process. There is no ending. It's just the journey of it. And so
right. And if you focus on the process, then children can be so much more creative, because there isn't a right or a wrong way to do something. They don't feel like they are going to make a mistake, because there are no mistakes in creativity. You just are using your imagination and you're being innovative. And, it's that muscle memory that you want them to bring into adulthood.
Absolutely. I was going to say, you're modeling that, and that becomes their normal. That's their standard. And so they operate that from day one and forward. Yes, I love that. What are the top 3 ways your company helps homeschoolers?
Yeah, so I mean, we offer a secular creative curriculum that emphasizes, like we said, process over product. And there really is nothing like that out there. And it's designed for multi-ages, so you don't need to spend time modifying ideas. You can just offer materials, and any child from age 2 to 8 or even older can engage and create with the materials. So I think that's number 1. Number 2, we use very simple materials like recyclables in nature, and we make it easy to get started without using without buying any fancy supplies. And you don't have to be an artist, like I said, and even feel like a creative person to offer these simple invitations. And we make it really easy in our guides with a picture and a couple of supplies and sort of an idea of what you can, how you set it up. So it's and there's 20 of them in each guide. And number 3, something that we're really excited about to offer homeschoolers and teachers is our monthly coaching with membership. So you can send us questions or hop on live to our monthly coaching, and we can help you develop creative habits with your family and troubleshoot any problems that come up. So we're really excited about that feature because it's very like a one-on-one, and we can really help you grow that creative environment within your homeschool.
And I love that because one of the things I'm big on is not looking at homeschooling as if it's separate from real life, quote unquote. Homeschooling is the extension of what we just do as a lifestyle. So I love that that's what that supports because that is not the norm. When people start homeschooling, you think, oh, this is school and this is life. But what you're reiterating and what I do as well is to say, no, we're always learning. And that creativity you apply in school is going to apply in life too. It's no lines. So I love that you all offer that support because homeschoolers we need that. We need to be reminded or taught that because maybe we didn't learn that growing up.
Right. Yeah. And our guides are really, we kind of can hold your hand through that. And it's a lot of a mindset shift as well for the adult. To realize that everything is connected to creativity. And it makes it more joyful, and it makes, children really remember the things that they're learning, because they're using their hands.
Those core memories will be unlocked.
I think all of these skills, all of the skills that, like to your point, Camille, about this sort of being this integrated life and learning experience, all of the skills that you're learning in these guides, like iterating and making mistakes and trying again, or problem solving, or testing out new ideas, collaborating with siblings at home or other homeschooling families, like all of those skills translate to all areas of academic life, but also just life in general. Like those are the skills that we see not starting and stopping with these guides, but really being, a continuation of the way children are developing and becoming, our next few problem solvers and innovators, change agents.
Absolutely. We need them. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. So can you share something that you don't think most homeschoolers know about your company?
Yeah. So I think one thing is we sort of talked about this a little bit earlier, but we do offer kind of two pathways or ways that homeschooling families can get involved. So if families are planning curriculum sort of long-term and ahead of time, you mentioned there are lots of planners out there who really like to lay things out for kind of like an extended period. You can really look through our guides. We have 60 products in our shop. So we have our 36 guides, but we have other bundles and other packages of ideas and inspiration and invitations. And all of those can really be connected to the curriculum that you already use. So if you're talking about friendship, or you're talking about seasons, or you're talking about, more scientific observation and using your senses, we have guides that are related to a really wide array of big ideas and topics, so they can integrate really well with the curriculum that you're already using or that you're designing. Another really kind of something that I don't know if a lot of people really know yet about our work is that it's really deeply rooted and integrated with social emotional learning. So there are lots of ways that children are developing those skills as they're working through these guides. They might learn that it feels really good to squeeze clay when they're feeling mad and be able to identify that emotion and utilize that as a strategy for self-regulation or just, calming down or kind of getting present. They might, work on kind of the collaboration and cooperation skills that come with working with others in these experiences and kind of navigating different perspectives or different ideas. So that's another piece. And we do in the guides list out really explicit academic connections so that homeschooling families can see like, okay, here are ways that these invitations are supporting literacy skills or foundational math skills or science and engineering. So that is another lesser known fact. And also and I know we'll be talking about this, but diversity and inclusion is really essential in the work that we're doing. And each month, one of our most favorite features and one of our favorite sort of jobs in designing the guides is creating a really beautiful, diverse, and inclusive picture book list with books that you can find at the library that represent a wide variety of life experiences and people and perspectives. And so that's just something that we also want to highlight as something that's really important about our work.
I love that. And you gave me the perfect segue to our next question. So why does having diverse and inclusive products and services matter?
Yeah, so we believe that families should really be able to see themselves in the curriculum they're using and that they're choosing for their learners. And we know there's so much research that sense of belonging and acceptance and being able to see yourself in the products and services that you're using is essential. When children see themselves and their experiences reflected in the curriculum too, they feel validated, they're valued, and that really creates a really positive and safe learning experience. And we know there's lots of research around the link between diverse and inclusive curriculum and stronger academic outcomes and just children developing this ability to be able to see the world from multiple perspectives and use critical thinking skills. Some of the ways that we do that are, as we value diverse perspectives, we love to prioritize spotlighting artists in our monthly artist studies that come from a variety of backgrounds and that share, new ideas and experiences. I mentioned the picture book, and empathy and social justice, equity. Those are at the core of the work that we're doing. We really believe that creativity is not just about making a beautiful thing. It's really about making a beautiful world and imagining a more equitable, a better world. And our curriculum is used in a lot of different settings. It's used in homeschool settings. It's used in public schools and charter schools and private schools. And it's also used in a lot of out-of-school experiences and art studio spaces. And finally, I just think, we really believe that open-ended art making and play are just naturally inclusive of all abilities, all life experiences, all interests, strengths, because they are generated from each individual person.
That's so great. You offer so much in the way that's really holistic to how children and, eventually adults really want to feel. It's not just the doing, it's the feeling, like the belonging and being included and doing things your way. Now, I as a kid, I was a very strong personality. So I kind of made my parents do things in a way that I liked. But I know everybody doesn't have that support. So just those minutes, even in homeschooling, sometimes kids don't have that voice to be able to do things their way. So to be inclusive in that way and to think like not just the lessons, but the process of the doing to practice those skills in an art project.
Mhm.
Like it's so simple, but it's so powerful. And I love how well thought out you all have done that. That's just, and it just is awesome. Because, like you said, it's really not out there like that. So it's very
And,
impressive.
and I think that, yeah, people think, yeah, it's so simple. It's, in an art project, but it can be really hard to watch your child make choices that you wouldn't typically make, or, like do things in a way that's really different from like what's intuitive for you. And so we do a lot of hand holding in the guides too. Like there is a lot of writing, a lot of narrative kind of helpful advice around that, around kind of like stepping back a little bit and allowing your child to try things. And I think that advice, yes, there are, there's so much inspiration for art making and these invitations, but also paired with some real advice from us around like how to let that happen, because it's easier said than done. It's hard to hold
Yeah,
back.
Shannon and I are still practicing that. I mean,
Always.
it's an ongoing practice. It really is. But we do write a lot of times. We say, if it goes another way, that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. It's all okay. And it's actually great if it goes another way, because, that means your child is thinking outside of the box, and it's thrilling, but it's a mindset shift. You really do have to keep practicing it. And the best way to practice that mindset shift of letting your child make their own choices is through these creative invitations, because they're really simple to just, it's really simple to just put out some materials and step away, and this is their world and their choices. And the more we can practice through that, the better chance we have of letting them make their own choices as they get older. And those are kind of bigger choices. And I can say that from experience, having young adults now. So it takes practice, and we're not always going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need that reminder. Like we're learning too. We're not just because we're the adults doesn't mean we're not learning.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah. Like, and you know what? And even if it doesn't get easier, you recognize it sooner.
Yeah.
That might be the key.
That's a really good way to put it. Yes.
Yeah, because it's still hard.
It's still hard.
You can be informed, you can be a teacher, you can be a coach.
Yeah.
That's still hard in real life, but you can recognize it sooner. It's like, oh, okay, we don't have to go that route. Yeah. So what inspires you to do what you do?
Yes. So we want to make sure that every child has access to really creative, affirming experiences that honor their strengths and gifts. And we, as Bar mentioned earlier, believe that any parent, any homeschooler can be equipped with these mindset shifting tools and resources and engage deeply with their children in these experiences, artist or not. And I think when we have these kinds of experiences with our children, we do learn so much about them, and we learn so much about ourselves too. As we were just talking about, like that practice of stepping back and just watching your child in wonder. I think that's the inspiration.
I totally agree. Those are those moments you live for, because they're fleeting, but they're there when you see them. It's like, okay, is this working?
It's very rewarding when that happens, right?
Yeah. So, what can people expect next from you?
Well, we are building a new website, which is exciting, and we're developing our membership in the future to be even more flexible. And it's something that our vision is coming to fruition. We are at the end of our third season now. So we really know what educators and homeschoolers want. So we're going to be streamlining our website. And we have a course coming out in late summer, right before the school year, on how to set up your environment to spark creative thinking and nurture social emotional learning. And we have big ideas around reaching more people around the world, to make sure that creativity is an equitable resource for all. And that is really our mission. So we're just very excited. We have a lot of things going on, and Shannon and I are always having these brainstorming meetings, and we just need each to have at least 2 clones to get it all done. As I'm sure you know, Camille, because I know that you're a creative thinker and you have lots of ideas too. So we're just chipping away, and we're just making it the best that it can be for people. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I look forward to all that. Yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
We're just thrilled to be part of World Homeschoolers Day. And we wanted to personally say, if anybody wanted to reach out to us, if they had any questions or they wanted to try a free guide, we can be reached by email on our website. It's at the bottom, and we answer all our emails personally. So if anybody had any questions, we're here for you.
Awesome. And so I was going to ask, where can people find you online?
Oh, it's so our website is thecreativityproject.com, but there's a dash in between the and creativity project. So it's the-creativityproject.com. And on Instagram, we're at the.creativityproject. And I also wanted to say on Instagram, we have a pretty robust Instagram, and we have our highlights of every month that we've done. And so when people are using our guides, they sometimes, and they're on Instagram, they will post what they're working on and tag us. So we have a lot of ideas of what is inside each guide from our community. So you can get a lot of information on our Instagram as well. So we really keep that up to date, and we have highlights that just have ideas for you. And our website also has a blog. So there's a lot of free ideas too. And like I said, you can also get a free guide and give us a try.
Awesome. Well, thank to both of you, Bar and Shannon from the Creativity Project, for being here today and for being a 2023 World Homeschoolers Day sponsor.
Yay. Thanks. Thank you, Camille.